Hello and welcome back to the Forgotten City. So, last time, well, this crashed, yeah. Right, yeah, we got a bow, yeah. We learned a lot, actually. And, you know, it's a little complicated. I found out that the golden rule, as I thought it was, can't be manipulated, or like there's more to it than just you can't, you know, do crimes. Because by making sure this guy died, he didn't kill anyone. So essentially I saved someone, and that's apparently okay. You're allowed to do that. I mean, you could actually articulate he didn't kill him, like he just got crushed. But I don't, I told him to go in there, so I don't really know. Anyway, I'm here now, and right, you're supposed to. Yeah, I got the bow, and one of the guys. A guy like was like, I can paint it gold so you can get that bow because I want a bow. And I was wondering if I really want to do that. I guess I will. A last stone statue of Diana, the ancient Roman goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld. One man on his knees is uttering a desperate prayer. Clearly, it fell into fears. Take the arrows. I don't know if I can still shoot with this. I can. Okay. Don't know why I paint any gold would make it unable to shoot. I don't know. So, do I just steal it or attempt to steal? There's a bunch of flies or something up there. I don't really know. Not flies, but like bugs. Let's see what happens.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
That didn't seem to work. Oh, it's locked. Oh, and I've died. Okay. Well, that went well. So, not sure what I could have done differently. Maybe I won't do that. I don't really want to, honestly, do that. I don't like the guy. He's kind of, you know, he talked about slaves, like what he was like totally like, oh, I want slaves and stuff, and I was like, nah, I don't think so, man. I feel like we should not be talking. Thank you very much. No thanks. No slaves. Let's take this guy. Yeah. I pressed talk, but now I'm stuck here. Oh jeez.
Back again, I see.
Any idea who's winning Rachel?
I don't, I'm afraid. But I did overhear Fabia telling Georgius she saw something.
Okay.
Very well. Another time.
So, okay. How do you? That's a button. So, how do you? Okay. These menus. Yeah. So I feel like I should focus on a mission at a time instead of like getting so many I get overwhelmed and confused and forget things. So yeah. So what do I want to do first? Guess what I don't know. I mean, so does this here, which I could just take it and then run all the way back. Oh, oh, okay.
The many shall
That's took a bit.
suffer for the sins of the one.
This is not how we get back. How do you? I don't wanna. This is wrong. Wait, where am I going? No. No. It's not how you get there. Like down here. Ow. I am being shot at quite a bit here. Hopefully I can make it. Okay. So, yeah, I was wondering last time it was a good idea to break the rule or not, because I didn't really want to, but I feel like the game kind of wants it to. And like stealing from that guy, I don't mind as much, I guess. Why is that? Why can't I remember what button goes in here? So yeah, before she dies. Yeah.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and...
And I need to take care of something certainly.
Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening.
Need to stop Abbie and send the empty swine and tell a new arrival he will find what he's looking for in there.
Alright,
Okay.
let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood.
That's it. Of course, fast you can.
I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, I can make it all the way here and save a lady. Hi, give this to her quickly.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this? She needs the resin of a plant.
I have the silphium resin. Here, take a little.
What? Quick, give it here. Yulia, Yulia, you need to swallow this. Here, let me help you. Hopefully, in a moment, she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing? And at this exact moment? Are you some kind of oracle?
Yes, I'm a time traveler. Honestly, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I heard you got sick earlier and went to find medicine. I'm a time traveler.
I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. I think it's your accent, because it sounded like you said time traveler. But whatever kind of traveler you
Yes.
are, that was like the gods hearing my prayers and intervening. You just saved a person's life, and you should be proud of yourself. She might even be able to thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her, and who she meant when she was muttering about that snake's cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with whatever it is you need.
That must be
That's a shame.
the temple
Thanks
crashing
again
or
for
something.
saving Yulia's
Wait, what
life.
was that sound?
Apollo smiles upon you.
Anyway, let's talk to you now.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. But thanks for trying to help me, I suppose. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest. As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's just not safe for me to talk about it. Please, no more questions.
I want to know how someone poisoned you without breaking the golden rule. Are you worried about the golden rule? Yeah, I want
The
to know that.
golden rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be cruel, but Malleolus and Claudia are far crueler.
Is that to poison you?
Please, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it.
Can't help unless you tell me what happened.
Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you? I can tell you, but it's a long saga. All right. I'd been here about a week when it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the rest of my life. I could hardly breathe, and I knew I had to get out somehow. So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, I would have done anything. And then I learned her asking price. 1,000 denarii. She was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to save up that much. So she suggested I take out a loan from Malleolus. And I did.
Why would he lend you so much money? Thinking you'll be out here before you ever had to pay back the loan?
I'm not proud of it, but yes, I was surprised he agreed to it, to be honest. But I was so happy to have the money I didn't question it. I had to sign an agreement, saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years. But I figured I'd be out of here so soon it wouldn't matter. I paid Aurelia, and she gave me her so-called way out. Do you want to know what it was? Hemlock.
Oh no, what's hemlock?
It's a deadly poison made from a plant. Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded my money back, but she refused. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me with those cruel black eyes, and she laughed. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning.
Sure, that would have been the golden rule.
That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd break the golden rule. And I couldn't be responsible for all those deaths, so he locked me in his villa. Confiscated everything I owned as collateral, and made me wear immodest, humiliating outfits while I worked day in, day out. His wife Claudia was just as bad. She sent me to work on an endless stream of futile, demeaning tasks. I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor clean for hours, only for her to pour slop on it and hiss, "You missed a spot." Those two took everything from me. But they forgot to confiscate one thing. My hemlock.
I see. So, you poisoned yourself.
I just wanted it to be over. But it seems I messed that up too. Should have drunk all of it.
I'm so sorry to hear that. You know, he's like playing us in all this.
brought it on myself. I trusted one of the most callous human beings I've ever met, and tried to swindle the other. I don't know how I could have been so stupid.
So what will happen to you now?
When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me. He'll escort me back to their villa, and I'll be right back where I started. Only this time, I won't be able to lull myself to sleep at night with the thought of a permanent solution. Honestly, it would have been better if the poison had been allowed to run its course.
I'm sorry. Can I do anything to help?
I doubt it. It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for me, for trying to escape. At least until someone breaks the golden rule. Huh. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
I have a bad idea. How much would it cost to buy freedom? You're thinking of bringing it, are you?
No, of course not. I would never. But I can dream. A lot. But it doesn't matter. I made a suicide pact with Ulpius last night. He's in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aurelius set the same trap for him a month after they did it to me. He and I are in this together. He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into Malleolus's villa by now. If so, I'd never be able to live with myself, knowing I broke my promise to him.
Perhaps I can kill him too?
I doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so determined to help me, but thank you.
I'll give it an honor.
Oh, it's you again. Is everything all right?
Do you know anything about Scintilla's disappearance?
No. I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. She was such a lovely young woman. But I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing, so I can't help you, I'm afraid.
Fair enough. What's the
You
story?
mean my life story? Oh, well, I grew up as part of a big family in Rome. Me and 3 older sisters. Our father found good husbands for my sisters, but I wasn't cut out for that kind of life. So he found me a job as a scribe for a prominent merchant. It was a good life for a while, until 7 months ago when the fires came. My colleagues and I worked desperately to try to protect our warehouse. We must have had 100 workers passing buckets of water, chanting prayers to Vulcan, but they fell on deaf ears. The fire was relentless and it claimed everything and everyone. Well, almost everyone. My employer told me to grab what valuables I could and flee for the Tiber with the crowds. I remember diving into the river, and then the next thing I knew, I was waking up on the riverbank not far from here.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. But to be honest, sometimes I think dying in that fire might have been a blessing, given what's happened since.
Oh god, I don't know why I'm so yawny right now. I'm yawning all over the place. Like, yeah, sorry. You know way out of
That's
here.
your idea of a joke. It's not funny. Go away.
Yeah, dang it. Please keep talking to me.
I know what kind of person
Yeah.
you...
Damn it. Oy. Well, gotta be more careful about what I say, because sometimes people
Keep you safe.
won't, you know, talk to me.
All right.
Yeah, nothing to say. I thought you was
That's a
gonna
shame.
something to say that I saved a life, but whatever. What about you?
Name's Wolfius.
Who are you going to vote for?
Meliodas. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without sin. How's he going to protect us?
Anything I can do to change that?
No. Whatever.
So, I heard a crash, so I assume. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I don't have the bow anymore? Wait. Do? Okay. So, wait. How do I... have two bows? But what? Why is this not gold now? That's kind of strange. Don't really get it. Whatever. Okay, well, hi.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't. In fact,
Funny
an
that.
idea for a scheme that will make us both very content. You enter the shrine. and
yeah,
make no
it's
mistake, this
same.
is a dangerous part. But in my experience, now
I don't need questions right now. I'll do it, but I won't call a partner.
I've gone and unlocked the shrine of Diana for you. So it's just at the end of this.
I don't know how I want to do it. Also, I don't know how. So let's wait, what? Oh, you gotta click track. There we go. That's fine. Yeah, so just gotta look around. Well,
A new face.
yeah, I haven't talked to you yet, apparently.
I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
well, she's sorry.
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
Sorry, what should I have done?
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
Cool. So, how did I end up here?
I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
Young woman named Karen dragged me out of a river, contest and sent me in here. It doesn't help that I'm playing a game where it's not Karen but Karen. So I'm like, how do you say it again now? It's a little bit of a problem. Anyway.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you.
It's another name, but I don't come where I'm from. Chaos negative kind of connotations where I'm from. I think I see where this is going. I do? I don't.
Why is that?
Because of the memes.
The memes? What are the memes?
When meme is one is where you share with other people, they become a bit like their own language.
So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs then?
Something like that.
So your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed character, the one they call Karen?
Yes.
I wonder if... No.
What are you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
You're being a bit coy.
I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
Okay. I may have already noticed a pattern. I'll be careful. What happened to Olivia?
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the golden rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you?
I may have already noticed a pattern. I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. But let's see where this goes.
You have? Then what is it?
Some people mentioned a coin, a river, mentioned memory lapses, and a counter with a stranger on a riverbank. Well, let's go all of them, I guess.
Yes, I suppose that could be something. But then most of us do tend to carry coins on our person, don't we? What else?
A river?
Yes, I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
Memory lapses.
I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. You mentioned earlier you met a young woman in the forest named Karen, yes?
That's right.
I see. And was this Karen by any chance wearing a hood?
She was wearing a hoodie. How could you have known that?
Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths.
Okay. I'll meet you at the baths.
But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
I mean, why not? That's a bad thing. Okay, well, there was more to say to her, but I guess that was enough. Now I'm wondering, like, are these people, like, I mean, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, the people talked about being from Rome and stuff, like, I was wondering if these were, like, other time travelers somehow, but nah, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you not remember being from the future? I mean, I do, but nah, that doesn't make sense. Something else then. But I don't really know what she means, or how she knows about Karen, or anything. Well, curious now, where is this gonna go? Should I go in the water? Good. Can't swim. Don't use that. It's a picture painting down here or something. And I have to see what it is. Someone offering a ball? I don't know. Like apparently free for a while. A lot longer than you would think. Oh yeah, how do you like this
Oh my!
tool?
I've never seen a lamp like that. Praise Apollo.
I should always do that to when I find someone new to see what they say. Anyway, so
Right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood.
yeah,
Here, look
Oh.
down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was Charon, as in Charon.
yeah, I know, yeah. I knew that name. I was like, why do I know
In
that?
exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly
Huh.
deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry.
Interesting. So this place is the Underworld.
I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people
But
whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the Underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
so with that, what I can tell you about Karen. Why does it feel in the Underworld? Are you trying to keep this from me?
That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the Underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
So, though, I don't know. Something feels off about this. I don't know. Like, why with the resetting and with the Golden Rule? Then what's the point if we are in the Underworld? Like, if we die and get turned to gold, I mean that's it. Then it isn't really like an afterlife. It's more like, I mean, something doesn't. I don't think this is it. I think this is the red herring. I think this is not quite right, but I don't know. I mean, maybe this is. I guess we'll see where this goes. I just don't. This feels also too soon to learn that this is the truth. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not. I mean, whatever. Hey, let's just continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different. Whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd helped the new arrivals cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks.
Why didn't you all recognize Karen immediately?
To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
Gotta admit, didn't expect, you know, them talking about Karen memes would turn into this, but, well, now we're here. Why so few people in the Underworld?
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river, but that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us, and that might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not.
Yeah, this is all weird. I don't know. Why are you trying to keep? Man, were you trying to keep this from me?
No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help. I promise you.
Huh.
Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the Underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the Underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the Underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the Underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide.
Can we just escape where we came in? I've noticed you seem uncomfortable calling the god of the Underworld by his name. Why is that? Tell me more about putting the god of the Underworld head on. Tell me more about escaping with the help of Proserpina or guide.
It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft, and even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril.
Tell me more about confronting Pluto's head on. Tell me more about escaping with the help of Proserpina or guide. I don't know. It's hard to tell if when something is gonna force me on something, but one of these sounds like it may force me to go that route. I don't know.
As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape. and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the Underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage.
So she might be willing to work against him to help us? That's horrible.
If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
Well, I hear the female starts whispering to me every now and then.
Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose
you may think I'm crazy.
As mad as Navia. Can
Yeah.
you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of things?
What kind of
does
thing
it
you just say to people? It's all the same voice, and she's helpful if a little cryptic.
Fascinating. Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out?
Oh god, so much yawning. I don't know why I can't stop yawning right now. It's really annoying. Perhaps she said wait against the current and her tears went through the city. Wait against the current, her tears went through the city.
That is strange. There are no rivers here. Let me think on that.
It's really hoping you could tell me what I meant.
As far as I can tell, water flows into the city from an aqueduct into one of two cisterns, the upper cistern. If that's the current she's talking about, then perhaps you need to get into the upper cistern somehow. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there, but the door at the back of the great temple is locked up tight. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate, but if that doesn't work, perhaps you can find another way in. Let me know if you find anything in there.
Confronting plus head on.
Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the Underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules.
Hercules couldn't manipulate time. I have a few tricks up my sleeve.
Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again.
You can tell me about the obelisk.
It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques. Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque.
This is turning into quite the thing. Why would I find the Roman plaque?
Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten, and there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy. But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque. I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the forum. Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, will be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one, but perhaps the goddess will help guide you to it when the time is right.
Okay.
I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
I'll chat with Livia
In any
first.
case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on your side.
So, that was a lot. And provided this is true, it kind of changes everything that I thought I knew. Like if Pluto is he like the god of the underworld? I don't know. Again. Okay. I don't know again a lot about, you know, the Roman gods and all that junk. So I didn't even know that was the god of the underworld. But that kind of makes me wonder, like, if the golden rule is his doing, essentially, why does he care that we are enforcing it? Like, if this is the underworld, like, why does it matter? Like, I'm not sure. And also, not the underworld I would expect, for sure. I mean, you have light, first of all, so, you know, that's that. It's surprisingly peaceful for an underworld, all things considering. But maybe that's the idea, that you're not supposed to know it's the underworld, and if you mess up the rule, you know, you're screwed, you know. So try not to, and be good, be a good person, and you get to stay here forever. Which, you know, I mean, if you're dead, it's not the worst place in the world to be dead, I guess, all things considering. But it's like also like, feels very weird. And then other gods apparently all like, at least Proserpina is all like, this isn't good. Let's fix things. Let's help. this stranger from the future as well. There's a lot of really strange things going on, and can I go in there? Well, kinda, but you're in the way. There's definitely something in there now, but I cannot push you. Can I do this? Well, doesn't really do much. Huh. Okay, I'm kind of curious to get in there, but I don't think I can unless I break the rule, so that's not happening right now. I haven't been here. Okay. Just moving around a bit, I guess. Prototype. Looks like someone's been hard work at the prototype deadline. That's the guy from the start. Yeah. Galerius. Poem by Galerius. Love poem to an unspecified woman. My life has been tortuous as the 7 labors of Hercules, often defeated and enslaved, yet I would suffer it all again gladly, because heat, loss, wound, and eternity brought me to you. Radiant as Rome's sacred flame, your bright warmth nourishes my soul. I know I can never touch you and more than hold Vestas' flame, but I watch and love you from afar. Living in your glow is enough. Actually, I'm kind of running on time here, it seems, so probably gonna stop soon. A fermented fish sauce uses icon let's say lots of stuff. I think I've seen that before. Roman shield. Ancient, a type of ancient Roman shield known as a scutum. Scutum? I don't know. Banner. Legionary's banner from the first Italica. This must belong to Horatius. Nope. Ancient Roman cavalry helmet with an enclosed face mask and a plume made of dyed horsehair. Fancy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop now, because talking to people can take a while, so let's not do that. But we learned a lot. Like, okay, the menu is being weird. Still a lot of side stuff I can do, though I'm don't really, like all this stuff. Like, yeah, it's like I don't even know what I should be doing right now. Like, do I? Yeah, like I can maybe do that. Like, it seems like there's various ways to, like, you know, I don't know if these lead to an ending specifically, but some of them seem like they might change things, and I don't know, like, I have no idea what to do. I'm just gonna do whatever happens. It's like, naturally, I feel like if I talk to people and do the things, and I don't know, it's fine, I guess. It's I'm gonna figure out what I should be doing. But next time I'll explore this place and see what happens. Talk to people, all that junk. Yeah. Alright, and that's it. Goodbye.